Hello there. So I'm feeling a little bit caffeine drunk. Not tea high, caffeine drunk, kind of loopy. So I am going to drink. I'm going to skip a day because I would like to keep filming, but I'm going to drink Rooibos Nutcracker. So I'm filming this a little bit out of order, but so many of these teas are, I'm actually going to put this whole thing in there. So many of these teas are caffeinated. Like I was going through the list and they're like almost all caffeinated. So here's what this looks like. It's very pretty. You can't see, maybe you can see, there's some little blue flowers in there. Yeah, I think you can see those a little bit in the sun. Okay, so I'm going to put this whole thing in there. I'm going to try not to steep it too much. That's the other reason I'm putting the whole thing in there, is you can't really oversteep Rooibos. And I have heard tell that's actually Rooibos, not Rooibos, even though it's spelled with an OS. So I don't know if that's true. I may still pronounce it Rooibos because I don't know that I can break myself of that habit. But so this is Rooibos or Rooibos Nutcracker. It has Rooibos tea, apple pieces, coconut nibs, natural caramel flavor, marigold flowers, natural hazelnut flavor, blue cornflowers, and natural chestnut. So if this weren't a Rooibos, I would be very excited. So all these other flavors sound fabulous, but I tend to not be a Rooibos fan. So we will see if I like this. I may love it. I actually have found that I've liked a few of Adagio's Rooibos. I think a big problem with me with Rooibos, it's very sweet tasting to me, which I don't always love. The other issue I have with it is that it is very hard to keep out of your tea. Had I been really thinking and not filming, I probably would have dumped this into one of my linen tea bags. So with the linen tea bags, it cannot escape. So I tend to brew Rooibos in my linen tea bags. And then I don't end up with little pieces of bark in my mouth, which I'm not too precious, but I'm a little precious about that. That kind of grosses me out. Tea leaves I'm less grossed out about. Also, sometimes I'll brew what they call grandpa style, which is just dumping it right in your cup. And I don't mind that with stuff like I actually made a green tea with barley today, and I've actually roasted my own barley for it. So I have a ton of barley. And I just dumped the barley in there. I had a tea bag for the green tea, and then I just dumped the barley in there, because actually once the barley sat in the tea water, you can kind of just gnaw on it like it was a piece of barley. So I don't mind that. That doesn't make me sad. But these thin little pieces of bark that kind of like get in between your teeth and kind of feel like hairs, I don't know. It's a textural thing for me with Rooibos. And I find that Adagio's Rooibos isn't as bad as the Rooibos I've had from the local tea shop. The local tea shop is just always, especially because I tend to brew it in my big teapot. And my big teapot has pretty big holes at the spout to keep the tea out, and that's not going to work for Rooibos. I think this little mesh infuser that I have in my small teapot will probably be much better. And with the linen bags, it's fine. So I actually, I've been kind of trying to sip down my local tea shop teas for a while, and I had been really struggling with the Rooibos. And I finally figured out the linen tea bag trick and realized that that's what was bothering me with those teas and why I wasn't drinking them. So I actually put that in. I started brewing it with the linen tea bags, and then it was all good. So I've gotten a ton of filming today done. I actually tried, so one of my Patreon members talked about how I was filming much more frequently, and I kind of talked back and forth with him about how one of the reasons I was is because I could do these short little snippets, so like 5 minutes for each tea tasting, and then I usually string them together. And then I thought, well, what if I did that for a role play? And I actually just did little snippets, and maybe even like little 5-minute characters, because today I was able to film one with the little 5-minute snippets, which was great because like inevitably my husband yelled something up in between, or a garbage truck went by, and I could usually just kind of end when the noise started and then cut it, instead of like when I've been doing a 20-minute video and I just didn't want to bother with trying to cut wherever it stopped, and I didn't want to stop it and then start it again, and it was just kind of a pain. So this may work better for role plays, but I may have to do like 3 different little characters if I can't always film on the same day. So we'll see. This is a very pretty color. It's like a burnt caramel already. It's kind of reddish. The smell is nice. It smells like Rooibos. So Rooibos, I think, kind of smells like cereal. I don't know what cereal it reminds me of. It smells like cereal. I would think about what cereal it reminds me of. It's hot. Tasting mostly Rooibos. Rooibos, whatever it is. And a little bit of caramel. But again, I kind of think like caramel, Rooibos and vanilla and Rooibos and caramel, I think Rooibos already has those flavors. So I don't know that that changes a whole lot for me. This really does smell like cereal to me. Kind of tastes like cereal too. I don't know. It's such a weird. But I can't tell what cereal it is. It might be just like cornflakes, but yeah, it really has a cornflakes smell to me. Just very strange. Look how pretty it is though. Okay, so I will give Rooibos that. Brews up a very pretty tea. I'm always a little bit disappointed when I have an herbal tea and it doesn't look much like tea to me because it's so light in color. I even sometimes get disappointed with green teas and white teas for the same reason. I want them to be this color. If not, they can be a little lighter than this, but I really want them this kind of brown color. Maybe a little bit of cocoa. Is there cream? Was there cream in this? Oh, hazelnut. I'm getting a little bit of the hazelnut. Okay. Not getting the apple. I have no idea what marigold flowers taste like. It's been in a lot of things a lot of teas that I've drank recently, but I still don't know what that flavor is. And I'm getting a little bit of the chestnut, but I think it's probably overpowered by the hazelnut. So I do really kind of like the cereal kind of cornflake smell. It's a nice smell. But it's meh. It's meh. I like that on on the Adagio website for the community, you can actually, like, you can either say yay, nay, or meh. And this is a meh for me. But again, it had the Rooibos against it from minute one. So I'm not surprised it's a meh. But I will happily drink this and have no caffeine for the next hour or two at least, so that I can kind of detox from the caffeine for a bit. So